Hello and welcome viewers. You are watching ET CFO, and we are going to discuss today about the state of Indian economy, how it is looking in the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, and where is the employment situation going ahead. And to discuss this, joining me is the former Economic Affairs and Finance Secretary, Mr. Subhash Chandra Garg. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Welcome, Manu. How are you?
Yes, sir, I am absolutely fine, and it's a pleasure to join you this afternoon. So, sir, I would like to start this interview by asking you how much progress do you see in the recovery since the economy has opened up?
See, what you perhaps are saying opened up, you mean the unlock down period which started sometime in late May and early June, right? So the economy was put under lockdown in the last week of March, which
Mm-hmm,
shuttered a lot of activities. Something
mm-hmm,
about 70% of the economy was
mm-hmm,
closed in the month of March last week and April. That
mm-hmm,
put a lot of production out of system. A lot of
mm-hmm,
services also got disrupted, and during that period, there was large contraction of the GDP, as well as millions of workers lost their jobs. This is now documented that something close to about 13 odd crores of workers lost their jobs in the month of April. After
mm-hmm,
the unlock period started, virtually with effect from June, a lot of
mm-hmm,
activity has come back.
mm-hmm,
Industry has also recovered. Manufacturing has also come back. Um,
mm-hmm,
there is much less resurgence in case of the capital goods, in case of the consumer durable goods. But all in all, if you look at it, there are two good indicators which you look at, the IIP, which is
mm-hmm,
the industrial production index in a way, including the
mm-hmm,
core. That's on an average for the first 3 months was
mm-hmm.
sort of minus by about 35%. So in
Correct.
April, while it was about two-third down, and
Mm-hmm,
in the month of June, it was only one-sixth down. So that would suggest that there's been some recovery, but we are
mm-hmm,
still down in comparison to the last year.
mm-hmm,
And the two areas where I see the biggest concern is
mm-hmm,
the capital investment,
mm-hmm,
which still seems to be quite sort of
mm-hmm,
down in dumps, and the
mm-hmm,
discretionary expenditure, which is best proxied by the durable goods, fridge,
mm-hmm.
air conditioners, cars, and things like that, and also
Correct.
the services, the entertainment, travel,
Correct.
etc. So we still are in a lot of bother, a spot of bother, but of course we
Mm-hmm.
are much better than what we were in April.
Okay, there is a set of data that we have seen, including the latest July figures for goods and services tax collections, as well
Mhm.
as the manufacturing PMI for July, which fell to 46 from 47.2. So the recovery, do you see that has been kind of halted because of the micro lockdowns?
So what happened was in June, there was a lot of pent up demand which came up into the market,
Mm-hmm,
and the factories opened,
mm-hmm,
and there was a resultant sort of visibility of the industrial production. In fact, if you look at the data,
mm-hmm,
there is a positive growth for the consumer non-durables,
mm-hmm,
which in fact, as the data came for
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
June, is 14% higher than the last year. So not only in comparison to
Correct.
April or May, but in comparison to last year, that's better. But as
Mm-hmm,
the locked up demand or the pent up demand subsided, and some of
mm-hmm,
the lockdowns reappeared in the form of this local lockdowns and confinement zones, etc. July seems to have again sort of petered a little bit down. So you see that
Mm-hmm.
on a kind of plateauing which you are seeing in July,
Correct.
somewhat local on a lower side. So you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned about the PMI, which is slightly lesser in July than in June. Uh, it
Mm-hmm.
might again be the case in the month of August. It might
Mm-hmm.
be somewhat lower than the June or July number. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the more worrying aspect was reflected in the PMI services, which continues to be much lower at 34, 35 points
Mm-hmm.
rather than 50. And so 50 only, 50 plus indicates some expansion, but 35
Mm-hmm.
indicates a large contraction. And that
Mm-hmm.
continues. If you take both these together, the
Mm-hmm.
services as well as the manufacturing I think we are
Mm-hmm.
still at about 38 to 40 kind of number, and that's not really
Mm-hmm.
good for the country. It would lead
Encouraging.
to a very substantial contraction.
Okay. So, picking from what you were just saying, what do you think the government should do at this point in time? Should there be a stimulus right now, or should it continue to wait and watch and assess the COVID-19 impact? Yeah.
No, you have to act when there is a need. You can't act after the
Mm-hmm.
patient is recovered. So you have to provide the stimulus at the time when it is needed, right? So the stimulus time was
Mm-hmm.
actually there in the month of June or July and May for that matter. And the stimulus which was
Mm-hmm.
announced was good but not adequate. It did not address the needs of the businesses, especially the
Mm-hmm.
small businesses and the labor.
Mm-hmm.
But at this time now, when things have in a way sorted them out themselves, so labor has, for example, gone into the rural areas, the agriculture provided, which happens to be on a very
Mm-hmm.
normal scale. It
Mm-hmm.
provided some employment opportunities. Some employment opportunities came in the form of NREGA work, etc. And still, there are about 3 crores less workers on the job in comparison to what it was the case in March in the last year, same time. So today
Mm-hmm.
you need to still take care, and I think stimulus today should be of
Mm-hmm.
somewhat of a different type. I
Mm-hmm.
would suggest that two basic
Mm-hmm.
component of that stimulus. Number one, the capex has to expand, right?
Mm-hmm.
The capital
Mm-hmm.
expenditure, which is, as I said a little while earlier, even the data reveals that the investment in capex, in
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, manufacturing elsewhere, is a whole lot down.
Mm-hmm.
The government need to sort of scale up the capital expenditure. So far, there's been talk about infrastructure plan, national infrastructure plan, and things like that. But there's not been real evidence of the infrastructure investment
Mm-hmm.
picking up from the government side. The public sector entities of the government, which does a lot of capital expenditure, are also doing it at a scale lesser than last year. I think that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be scaled up. So if the government stimulate the economy by increasing the capital expenditure would be very much essential. I would also suggest that the private sector need to expand the
Mm-hmm.
capital expenditure, but they would not do it because a lot of
Central government.
infrastructure businesses are sort of broke, so to say, and in
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing also the situation is quite bad as
Mm-hmm.
even existing capacities are not being utilized fully. But if we use this time to
Mm-hmm.
undertake reforms to make infrastructure in the manufacturing businesses and the big
Mm-hmm.
technological where the investment today is still possible
Mhm.
and is welcome. Changing the way we deliver education, we deliver financial services by
Mhm.
digitalizing the economies and all. That investment private sector is willing to take, and if we sort of follow policies which encourage these, I think infrastructure and other investment can also come from the private sector. So this is one which is absolutely essential. The On the
Mhm.
demand side, if you look at today,
Mhm.
there seems to be very clearly two segments. One segment
Mhm.
is of the families and households, which have sort of protected jobs, which are theirs,
Mhm.
salary incomes, etc. In
Mhm.
fact, they are not able to incur expenditure on the
Mhm.
discretionary items. They used to spend a lot on travel, lot on entertainment, lot on buying fancy and other goods and services, clothes and those kind of things.
Mhm.
So that discretionary expenditure is down and out, which is
Mhm.
ironically leading for this group of people to save a lot. So bank deposits are
True.
going up. They don't need
True.
anything from the government in terms of
Mhm.
stimulus. What they need is that the economy should be opened up. Still, a
Correct.
part of the economy is closed. Uh,
Mhm.
the government can provide the stimulus to this kind of expenditure by opening up the economy. I think we have
Mhm.
learned reasonably well that if you follow the rules to sort of contain the spread of infection, even the discretionary expenditures
Mhm.
can take place and people can enjoy and consume this. So restaurants, entertainment, travel,
Mhm.
and those things should be open to my mind sooner than
Mhm.
airlines, travels, and things like that. Uh, but the other group, which is very large,
Mhm.
let us say the farmers, the non-farm workers, and the big chunk of about 10 to 12 to 15 crores of the people who work in small industries and all, they have
Mhm.
suffered income loss. In fact, the
Correct.
dimension is very clearly noticeable is that the while jobs have come back, but the workers are suffering loss of wages. They are not doing the same jobs which
Mhm.
were yielding them much more income than what they are doing today. So this group
Mhm.
needs stimulus, needs support. Farmers are being provided some support in the form of this PM Kisan Yojana. They're getting about 6,000 rupees, but the workers are not getting anything. They're getting some indirect modes, free ration, etc. That's a very small. I think the government should come out with a PM Kisan type of scheme for, let us say, PM MSME workers or PM non-agriculture workers or industrial workers, and provide them some support,
Mhm.
10,000, 15,000, 20,000 rupees for meeting their loss of income. I think this group will spend. They need money to spend. And if that kind of stimulus is provided, I think we can see some of the demand back for the consumer durables and other
Mhm.
consumer items as well.